Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and today we're diving together into Open Ultra League with a Quaquaval. I think I pronounced that name correctly, but yeah, it is the what Pokemon? Yeah, this one. So we're gonna use a team around this from a starter from Paldia, which is absolutely insane, and I think that this Pokemon has a lot to offer in the open meta of Ultra League. So we're gonna start off the video with the Steelix up in front instead of Quaquaval, because we're gonna use that Pokemon as a safe switch for this team. So right here against this Articuno, obviously we're having a great time, but still they can put off a pretty solid battle against our Pokemon, and now they will try to snipe me down with a Machamp. We know better, and we're gonna showcase here our Trevenant on the switch. So we're expecting a second fighter, to be honest, at the back, because seeing that Machamp coming in so easily, I think that the second fighter can always be expected. However, they have a Pokemon like Melmetal, so we are still in deep trouble if they have the correct moveset for our team. So over here I'm just gonna take the move, I believe, no reason to block or anything. Yeah, we already took a shield out of them, and now Quaquaval can go in and start doing some solid work. Of course, they can always catch on the remaining HP that Articuno is having, but to be honest, we want to charge up to a double close combat. So before we debuff ourselves, I'm just gonna let that first one go through and try to catch the move on our Steelix. This is looking pretty promising now, because we can still farm down with the remaining wing attacks, and right after go for the final close combat to destroy down the Melmetal, and that's gonna be a great game. Into the next one now, and we're having a Trevenant up in front, so this is looking not that good, to be honest. They can still pull off the win even with those debuffs. So anyways, we're just gonna start off with a Breaking Swipe, which is a pretty good move on Steelix, to be honest, and right after we got one more Breaking Swipe, this time for this Ampharos. So Ampharos is gonna be kinda problematic for our Pokemon here, but I'm expecting the Trailblaze, to be honest, and not the Focus Blast. So with that in mind, I'm just gonna let those moves go through, and for the second time they will hit us with that Brutal Swing. Hopefully we can farm down before we spend any shield at all on our Toothless Pokemon, and right after we'll be met up with that Trevenant. So they are in deep trouble against my Steelix, as it seems, with their team. So Breaking Swipe here is definitely gonna do a lot of solid work up against them, and one will grab the shield while the second will put them severely low, and we can still reach to another one. So they were counting my moves here, that's why they threw, and I'm just gonna let it go through. At the back they have a Magnezone, which is not that great, but still I have a feeling this is no wild charge at all. Just gonna let that go through, and right after I will respond with a heavy hitting close combat. They are gonna let that go through. This is a mistake, and that is gonna be the end to their team, because yeah, Quaquaval has some really nice nukes for the opponent. Into the next one now with the Charizard up in front. On the switch we're met up with a Gyarados, and right after we have to throw those Breaking Swipes. So they are severely debuffed, and that's why I like Steelix up in front. Whenever you get a good lead, obviously you can stay in a little bit longer when they switch, because you can debuff that Pokemon and then switch out to your remaining ones. However, against Gyarados I do not have a clear answer to this Pokemon, so I decide to stay in and sacrifice a shield in the process, while I can easily farm down over here. This final Aqua Tail will not be enough to finish us off, because we have already debuffed this Pokemon a lot, and at this point I will just get those double moves, double Breaking Swipes for the closing part of the battle, because I have a feeling that they might be kinda clutch. So over here I have the Liquidation, which is gonna take the shield out of that Pokemon, out of the Charizard, and Quaquaval has already done its job. So over here I'm just gonna let my energy go down alongside my Steelix, because now I can go in with Trevenant. And at the back they have a Swampert, so we're looking at a pretty solid victory, to be honest, because we can totally wall down that Pokemon, and not everyone is prepared for Trevenant on Ultra League. Into the next one now with Surfetch up in front. Oh yeah, I remember this one. So we're just gonna be in a pickle against this Pokemon, and our only option is to switch out into our Quaquaval. So this is what I like about this team. You got Steelix up in front, which is obviously afraid of Swamperts and fighters, and the backline can really cover for that weakness. So that's why I recommend going with a team like this into Open Ultra League if you have this Pokemon. So over here we can still farm down if we are kinda careful while not spending a shield at all, which is absolutely crazy. Down goes now the surface, and it all depends on what they have at the back. Seeing another fighter makes me think that perhaps this is a triple fighting line. Hopefully no Scrafty out there. So here comes down the move. I'm just gonna block it because I have a feeling this is most probably gonna be just a Stone Edge, and right after we have the Shadow Ball for the final Pokemon. Unfortunately for us it is a Steelix and we cannot do a lot of stuff up against them. However, we can still provide a lot of pressure with the second Shadow Ball, and this will put the Steelix kinda low. So another move is coming up, this time the Breaking Swipe. We can still survive with this, I'm in no panic at all, and we can still try to catch one move on our Steelix, but to be honest we're getting severely low. So this is the stare down of death, and we're gonna go down in the process, since I just wanted them to not farm extra energy on my Pokemon, but still, as you can see, we stand no chance at all. They can easily get there to the next Stone Edge, and I'm just gonna leave the battle in a very weird way, but still well played by opponent. They absolutely outplayed me over there. Into the next one now with a Pidgeot up in front. So this Pokemon with the Feather Dance can do a lot of stuff against my team, but against Steelix not so much. We resist pretty much anything they can throw, but I definitely want it out of my Trevenant's way. So over here I will try to snipe them down with a close combat. They want to block, which is a pretty cool block to be honest, and right after we're just gonna go down to the Psychic Fangs. So obviously they have now the upper hand, but they do not know that yet. That's why I decided to let my Quaquaval go down. I could easily survive with my shields a little bit more into that play and still reach the close combat, but I was not sure if that could knock out. Most probably wouldn't, but still, who would knew. Anyways, here comes now another move. I have Earthquake ready to go, and seeing that Breaking Swipe of their own makes me think that if I undercharge that a little bit, we might be in a very good position since we can still farm down with this. So I'm expecting their third Pokemon to emerge, but instead they throw Pidgeot. Are you kidding me? What could they have at the back? So able to do a lot of solid work with my back-to-back Breaking Swipes, even though they do almost no damage at all. And now we see the switch out to the Giratina. This Giratina carries the move Dragon Breath, which means that we can have the upper hand eventually up against them. This is gonna be just an insane power, but to be honest I was expecting the Dragon Claw, and at this point we can still reach to the Shadow Ball for massive damage on their side. So Seed Bomb is coming up right after. They are gonna let it go through, and they're getting significantly low. We still have 2 shields, but to be honest, if we can block even those Feather Dances, we can easily farm down at this point with the Dragon Tails. And yeah, look at the trainers, absolutely wonderful. What a sight seeing, and that's gonna be magnificent ending into that battle. Into the final one now, trainers, and we're having Giratina up in front. So kind of a shorter video today, but still you're gonna see the full capabilities of Quaquaval, because this Pokemon is absolutely insane and a very cool new addition to Go Battle League in total, being kinda similar to Poliwrath, but I guess with more hard-hitting moves. So we're just gonna block the move here just in case this is a flamethrower, but instead it is an instant power, and right after we can reach to the Shadow Ball to destroy down the remaining HP that this Togekiss is having. Now Giratina returns to the battle. We got Shadow Ball once again. Will they take this? Yes they are. Big damage output on their Pokemon and right on the CMP. This is looking pretty cool for us because not only we have done a lot of solid work with a double Shadow Ball while they still have the shields, but also because Quaquaval can go in and start farming down all that crucial energy. What could they have at the back? I am in a very good position to be honest, even though we have the shield disadvantage and they got a steel type. So over here I'm just gonna let it go through. There is no way this is a superpower, otherwise they will be in a difficult position against my final Pokemon, and here I'm just gonna take their shield out of play, and since I have another close combat I'm just gonna bring my Earthquake first into the game and they're just gonna let it go through. So that is gonna be a very good battle to end this video. Thank you for watching, trainers, and for staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you are new to my content. And speaking of more of my content, here are actually 2 of those videos that I recommend to you, so feel free to check them out, and I will see you all into the next one.